India, one of the oldest associations promoting electronics components and manufacturing in the hardware segment in this country since 1967. So it's a 55 years old organization promoting hardware manufacturing and components ecosystem in this nation. So predominantly, the focus has been on the electronic sector, as I mentioned, the components, and creating a value system within India. Apart from creating this ecosystem, the main focus of the association has been working with the government on specific policies and interventions that's required to make sure that we progress on the electronics manufacturing sector as a nation. And this has been going on since 1967, as I mentioned earlier. So policy advocacy and recommendations to Government of India as well as several state governments have been the predominant role of the association on the electronic sector, and at the same time representing the industry with the government on various occasions to support the ecosystem of electronics manufacturing in the country. That's been the second thing. Business development events, especially things like Source India, Strategic Electronics Summit, and most noteworthy is the annual awards called ELSINA annual awards that's happening every single year to recognize the organizations and individuals and the ecosystem who have been participating in the electronic sector here. Additionally, at the ELSINA house in Delhi, so we do also have a permanent display where the products of several manufacturers in India is kind of available there as a permanent display. And at the same time, we also collaborate with several international organizations, specifically from Taiwan, Korea, and others in promoting electronics manufacturing. So that's a very brief about ELSINA. But then we do have a video to give you more details. So can you please play the video? Source in India, source internally, you could name that, and then not just for India but also for exports. This started way back in 2009. And this is going to be the 12th edition, and more importantly, this is one of the largest electronics events that happens in Tamil Nadu for the last 12 years. So it's a flagship program of the state of Tamil Nadu to promote electronics manufacturing, both for domestic consumption as well as for exports. So that has been the background, and our vision really has been to establish Source India and continue to grow Source India as a flagship event of the state of Tamil Nadu for electronics hardware manufacturing as such. And the objectives mainly have been on this particular event is to encourage and enable investments into the electronic industry, to bring all the stakeholders on one platform. There are several opportunities available, but then this is going to help to bring all the stakeholders into one platform. That's the main thing, and also create absolute awareness of the electronics industry. Today, electronics is everywhere. So we almost say electronics for humanity, starting from your toothbrush in the morning until your alarm clock or whatever that we have on daily activities. It's all electronics today. Involving small and medium MSME organizations has been also a very key focus of ELSINA and this particular event. And buyers and sellers. It's also an event that happens as part of the Source India program. It is called Buyer Seller Meet. So the buyers kind of promote and let the sellers know what are the components that they're looking for within India. And then of course sellers do have an exhibition opportunity that also happens. And by the way, this year the exhibition space is completely sold out. So there's a very big and overwhelming response for the whole program as such. The key segments that are covered here, I would like to kind of quickly walk through all the raw materials and parts that goes to the electronics manufacturing, PCB components, EMS, semiconductor supply chain, automotive and EV, mobile phones and accessories, telecom, 5G, so lighting, so all of these areas including parts of defense. So that's the focus area for Source India during this year. And as I mentioned, the buyer seller event at the end of second day. So that's the most important session of the 2 days program that we have. I would now invite my colleague Richard to kind of give a brief details specifically about this Source India supply chain event as such. Thank you.
Electronics is one of the fastest growing segments in the country, and you will see various within the sector. We have segments like automotive electronics, we have consumer electronics, mobile phones, we have industrial, we have appliances. They are all doing extremely well. And Tamil Nadu actually scores almost number one in the country today for being only reason that we have the largest OEMs and EMS companies situated in Tamil Nadu. So that's the beauty of the TM having such kind of background here, and that's the reason Source India is very popular in this southern part of the country. So may I take you to the objective of the events today for the Source India event. Sure. So we haven't had any other show than this. So 2 days of exhibition of 150 plus exhibitors with special terms for Tamil Nadu based companies. And the event is sold out. The entire exhibitors, this has been acquired today and we are fully sold out on this event. 2-day conference with key speakers from the industry leaders from domestic and global companies. We have Dr. Ashwini Agarwal here, who is representing Director of Applied Materials. He will be one of those key speakers in the event. And there will be buyer-seller meetings with 50 plus international and large domestic buyers will be present there. We are expecting close to 5,000 people to attend this event. Opportunity for companies to present their products, technologies in exclusive technology sessions. Medavir Alpha will be organizing that technology session in the event. Networking opportunities for industry as well as government officials. Highlight the investment opportunity in Tamil Nadu ecosystem and policy benefits. And invite delegations from Taiwan, Japan, Singapore, South Korea and other countries. This will not be possible without the support of government of Tamil Nadu, especially from our industry ministry. I would like to show the final slide.
It's my pleasure to introduce the theme for the event. We looked at several themes, as you would imagine, and to come up with a very catchy one that's quite topical, and also it kind of encompasses the spirit of where the state itself is going. We have this 1 trillion economy by 2030 vision from the state, plus we have the $5 trillion economy from the union government. So looking at all that, we said, where does electronics fit in? And we have a 300 billion vision by 2026, and probably we have to take it all the way to 1 trillion as well during the course of the next decade or so. So given all that, we said, what are the key areas where we need to focus, and what stands out or what stood out very, very clearly as a challenge and also as an opportunity for us was the sourcing. Basically, the component ecosystem today doesn't exist in India in any big way. And so that could be a great opportunity for us and also a great challenge for us at this point in time. I know both the central government and the state government are working round the clock. They are putting out incentives all the way from the semiconductor manufacturing infrastructure incentives for that to making other passive components, etc. So unless we can conquer that space and become a key sourcing hub for electronic components that go on to the assembled boards, we are not going to achieve any of these targets that I just told you. So we said that is a key opportunity and a key challenge. And along with that comes the challenge of scale and skills. So we said, let's combine the two and talk about deep manufacturing in this ESDM space, and also with an eye of making India the sourcing hub for components. It may not happen in the 3 to 5 year time span, but it will definitely happen in the 10-year lifespan going forward. I think when government gets into and sets its eye on something, it tends to move a lot faster, and I think both the state and the central government have been seized with this issue of components, infrastructure, building that ecosystem for components, because a lot of it, or I would dare say more than 90% of the components that we use on our electronics comes still from China and other countries. So India has to become a sourcing hub. So combining all this, we said let's have this theme of making India a sourcing hub for electronic components, and throw in the deep manufacturing in this space, because deep manufacturing encompasses the aspects of artificial intelligence, machine learning, industry 4.0. So we need to get to that point. We need to enable, we need to leverage the enabling technologies to make ourselves very, very efficient, cost effective. If we have to take on somebody like China, who has a head start over us by maybe arguably between 15 and 20 years in the electronics hardware sector. So that is how the theme got formed. I'm very sure you would hear a lot more about this during the Source India meet. So we just want to kind of tempt you by putting this out there and telling you that this is going to be a very, very exciting show next week. So please be there because we have taken a very, very important theme for this meeting. Thank you very much, and I won't say anything.
Mr. Sashkumar Gendam, who introduced us to Elcina briefly. Mr. Richard Totau, who had spoken to us about what the Sourcing event is going to be all about. And Dr. Sriram Srinivasan, who just expanded on the whole purpose and vision of organizing this event. My colleague in the Industries Department, Mr. Vishnu Venugopal, who is attending his first formal event in his new position as CEO and MD of Guidance. Friends from the media, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to be part of this event this evening, which is fundamentally intended to promote the Source India exhibition. We think this is a very significant event. Considerable effort has gone into organizing the event this year, which is returning after a gap of almost 3 years imposed by COVID. We've adjusted a number of issues. We've adjusted the timing of the event also to ensure that we maximize participation from various countries, particularly from East Asia, specifically Taiwan, Japan, and Korea, where the Chinese New Year celebration will be completed by the time this event starts. So there are considerable expectations from this event. In Tamil Nadu, already electronics is a very large sector. Almost 20% of the national output of electronics is produced in Tamil Nadu across different sectors. The growth over the last 5 years has been in excess of 14%. It is one of the fastest growing subsectors within industry. Today, Tamil Nadu ranks second overall in the production of computer semiconductors, electronics, and optical products. We rank third overall in the country in terms of electronic exports. The scope for growth is tremendous and considerable. This is one of the key emerging sectors within industry. Tamil Nadu has supported the sector through a mix of policies. We have the electronics hardware policy, which was launched in 2020. We have the industrial policy, the revised industrial policy, which was launched in 2021. Both of these support the area of electronics manufacture, and companies get a choice of which one to pick. There's been a considerable expansion of capacity, particularly in electronics manufacture in the state. You're all well aware of the Apple story and how Tamil Nadu is the locus of Apple phone manufacture in India. This is becoming the key center. Of course, companies like Foxconn, Electron, and Luxshare and others have a key presence there. Cellcom themselves is a key supplier into the Apple ecosystem. Sanmina, all of these companies, Pets, all of them are present already in Tamil Nadu. In addition, companies like Tata's are commencing component manufacture for all of this. So there are two important stories here. One important story, which is that within Tamil Nadu, the electronics manufacturing sector is diversifying away from the traditional area around Srikampur, around Chennai. It is moving also to Hosur, it is moving to Coimbatore. We hope it will move to Trichy and also to further parts of southern Tamil Nadu. Electronics as a sector is then again crucial for our growth story for a number of reasons. One important reason is that it is one of those sectors which rides on